welcome back to the Wafflehouse in Exandria and now Syngorn.
It's you, the champion, here next to me.
Yes. I'm not quite sure what that was, but hey. A resume from last week. Lord
The
Darcy.
Wafflehouse find themselves at the gate of Syngorn and are greeted by a familiar sight. Some peasants, a wall, and an elf on top of the wall. So commences another round of shouting and terrible accents. This goes on for some time. Luckily for everyone involved, Nissa appears, and after some words with Dak, intervenes, allowing the party access to the city. There's an odd feeling in the city. The people seem completely unaware of their impending doom, or at least they believe in their ability to deal with it. Nissa is much aggrieved to learn that Boris, Brick and Isgip are no longer with us. And after a brief conversation, the Wafflehouse decide the best course of action is to go to the Emerald Citadel in hopes of receiving an audience with the Wardens. Surely that should be simple enough, given the gravity of the situation. But of course not. More elves with a power complex denying our heroes entry. Our solution to this is to try to gain entry to another building for which we have no authorization, that of Lewin's father, with the intention of nabbing a crest that will grant us entry to the aforementioned building for which we have no obvious means of ingress. This idea mulls around only for a brief period before they give up on it and rightly decide to go to the pub. Food and drink is handled while Lewin gets to work on forging. It's not forging, I've just learned, but working on a simulacrum of the needed crest. However shall the rest of the group pass the time, you ask? Well, Dersius has observed a strange phenomenon. It appears that the kittens seem to draw the attention of many of the young women in Syngorn, and they may actually serve some kind of purpose. Putting this hypothesis to the test, Dersius has a lend of the kittens. And it works even better than he could have imagined, as he finds himself surrounded by adoring women. But what is more alluring than a dashing hero with a soft spot for little ones? Or at least the appearance of one. The rest of the group have fun throwing poo at strangers and manage to put a stop to young love before it ever really gets started. While this takes place, Lewin finishes up his calligraphy session, having created a rather spectacular document. And tonight we will find out where this all leads.
Very good. Very good.
Very well done.
Yes.
I mean, prison
Round
is
of
the
applause.
answer, but yes, well done.
So, we are in an elven city. Let's have that one. There are floating globes of light, fey light, illuminating you're under the lake in the middle of Syngorn. You are in a tavern, cogitating on what will happen next. I think you were there, were you not? Hope we put you on the right one. There we go. Cogitating what was going to happen next. It all starting to flag a bit. It is becoming later in the evening. You have been up now for almost 2 days non-stop with combat and flight, injury, and you are struggling. Fatigue is starting to take its toll. Could you all please make for me Constitution saving throws? DC is 15.
Oh,
Question is, how would I still be doing mine? I don't sleep.
No,
per se.
you don't.
Okay.
Dak, you take a point of exhaustion.
Yes, I do.
Dersius, what's the +1 from? Ring of protection. Okay. Dursis, you are still slightly fatigued. The hangover is just causing a dull ringing in your ears now. The rest calls most of you, but the night is getting on. The residents of Syngorn seem not to care that there is a siege about to descend on them. They're enjoying a glass of mead. That's why they're enjoying glasses of mead and goat's cheese with bread. There's a bard in a corner of the tavern you're in who has created a new ditty and is just trying it out in his head, and it's the story of Lord Darcy, the demon slayer, and he's starting to get a bit of traction with it, and this may be the next number one in Syngorn. What do you wish to do, Wafflehouse?
Well, we have our document. I suppose we can try our luck with the guards again, unless anyone's had any other ideas in the meantime.
You're all looking you're all looking very ragged. Your clothes are dirty, travel stained, torn. You are bruised. Your hair is unkept.
It might do. It might do well if you think we have time for you all to rest tonight and for us to all freshen up a little bit. I'd hardly think turning up the way that we look right now is going to do much favour in a place like this.
True. Although
I also think we should definitely try and find somewhere for these kittens to have a bit of a better upbringing, rather than underneath my arm when I'm fighting off demons.
Well, I mean, if I remember rightly, we had quite a lot of gold in the portable hull. We could probably set them up to other adults with
Definitely.
what we've got in there. Well, at least part of it.
thing is we don't really know how much time we've got before the transport of the city happens. So if it was to happen while we were all asleep, we've essentially failed.
Well, I'll leave it to your decision. However, I have a feeling that I don't know about you all, but I'm relatively tapped. If we were to have a siege in the current condition, I think we're probably not going to do so well anyway.
Oh, I agree.
I will interject that at least getting this information to one of the High Wardens of Syngorn is quite important.
That's fine. I suggest we do that and then probably rest rather than
Can
worry about
I
anything else.
perhaps make a suggestion, Lewin? If you're able to just pen up a description of the problem as it stands now in as succinct a way as you can manage, so that we have a written copy of the problem. At least then, if we can't gain access, we might be able to at least get the note to someone.
I will take ink, quill, and parchment and draft a as eloquent and factual as I can the situation that currently faces the city.
Considering that Lewin is feeling probably a little bit fatigued, I will.
Surprisingly, with his cup of coffee in his hand, Lo doesn't look too bad actually.
Fair enough. I was going to be up for 2 days. I was going to say I'll tap you on the shoulder and give you some, give you guidance in case you need any. You get stuck on any words.
Okay. I'm assuming then, am I okay to make a roll, DM, to try and as eloquently as I can write this letter?
Okay, so you need to use understanding and eloquence. So that will be wisdom plus calligraphy.
Okay. Let me just make a quick change. There we go. So wisdom calligraphy, and I get a D4 to this as well. That's going to be a 14.
You pen it. You pen this. Doesn't sound right. You're not sure you're going to get much traction with what you've written here. Doesn't really seem to catch the gravitas of the situation.
Yes, I used far too many syllables in the language here.
Yeah, see, I did specify succinct rather than eloquent. Maybe that
Yes!
was your
So
problem.
that's taken another hour or so to do that. JC, you smell smoke in the air. Wood smoke.
Would that not? Would that be out of the norm then, being in a city? Is that something JC would know?
It smells like the cloying, just the undercurrent of wood smoke. You know, there are chimneys here, but it's slightly more pervasive.
JC will go up to a window and summon a very deep-rooted thing to stare out the window in case of trouble.
Okay, well, you're in the city at the moment. You're surrounded by buildings and tall trees. This is a very this city itself. There are trees everywhere, and it's you from vantage point you don't see much, but you do smell wood smoke.
Do I hear anything on the wind, like panic or anything at all, or is it literally just the smell?
You just don't smell the wood smoke.
I'll point out to the others that, you know, there's certainly more of a smell, but not sure why.
The others don't really pick it up. It's just because you've got very sharp perception.
If you you notice, yeah, it's all right. Thank you. JC, if you notice anything else, a change in smells, whatever, be vigilant, because all of this could pop off at any time.
Will do.
Maybe, seeing that we've been unsuccessful with the letter, we should probably just make a move. Sooner the better. Get it over with.
Yeah, I don't really know what other options we've got at this point.
Okay.
Famous will get up, slap his legs, and get ready for the Irish goodbye for us.
Okay. The people there are finishing up what they're having, and they're going about other business. Some are going to shops, others are going off to work and do things. You hear a gasp outside, and a number of people are looking to the west and pointing.
I will tap Dak on the shoulder and go, things are changing.
Okay. Do we want to go and check that out first, do we think?
Sort of, how far away do you think? I could probably just float upright and
Yeah, I mean,
have
if
a
you
good look at the horizon.
get a better view.
So you go outside Fomos and you float upwards, and to the west you see a dark black cloud, smoke in the air, hanging high in the air. The underside of it is glowing red. You know the forest is aflame.
Yeah, Famous will drop back down and relay that. The forest now appears to be on fire. Not sure how much time we have.
I would imagine not much. If I'm trying to think back to when we were here the first time round, but I believe the forest around the city was all scorched as well. So
Yeah, I think At least I would assume Fomus will know this. This is assuming, but from the other side of the barrier, right? It's not inside.
Yes, the other side of the barrier. Yeah.
See, yeah. Okay. Well, the barrier's still holding for now, so I think it's not exactly right this second that they're going to teleport. But I don't think we have that long.
No.
From you said about the state of the place when you came across it, so I think we probably just best to go straight to the council now.
Whilst you discuss that, JC does want to ask Lewin, these kittens, I want to keep them safe. Your special chamber room thing, can people stay alive in there, even if it's only for a short-ish period of time?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure. It's not really somewhere I would think about staying short-term with other options available, but in theory, yes, a creature would be able to stay inside. Alas, I must quote Sir Dak's favourite line of, not something I have in my repertoire today.
Because I was kind of hoping we could feed these kittens, give them some love and care, and put them to bed in your hole whilst we go fight these things, and then take them back out afterwards. Because we need to find somewhere safe for these. We're going to be fighting some demons.
If I was looking for an option, I'm sure with a suitable donative, one of these lovely ladies around Sidursius would be more than happy to look after these cats for a while. Although you may have to pay a bonus to make sure you get them back at the end.
Well, of course.
Do you want me to open up the bank of gold and swords? Do you need any currency out?
Well, I've got some on me that I can use at the moment, but I'll probably will need a top up at some point depending on their fees. But yes, and JC will go up and start up with people who can look after these kittens whilst we sort of save the city.
Oh, and there's a young elf there, young female elf, probably only in her 40s or 50s. A wood elf.
Yep.
Well, I am Arianda of the Forest of Verdant Expanse. I would be delighted if you would let me be the custodians of your kittens. The sky is dark and the moon is red tonight. JC, she's speaking thieves' cant to you.
Oh God! Alright.
You have not introduced yourself, she says in thieves' cant, whilst talking very sort of flowery to the rest of you.
Yes.
You realise that you have been fingered as somebody of a thieves' guild, and you have not introduced yourself or made yourself known.
Yep. Well, in best thieves, I'll obviously explain that yes, we've sort of in a rush at the moment, so I've not had chance, but I am JC. This is the Wafflehouse, so on and so forth. Any sort of introductions that will need to be had, I'll give. But we'll say we've literally just got it and been in a rush trying to get vital information to people.
Well, if you need accommodation for these delightful kittens, me and my friends will be more than happy to look after them and educate them for a cost, of course.
Naturally.
And you may want to one day you will want to introduce yourself to our grandsire. And that's basically you being told you really need to introduce yourself to the local thieves guild.
Yeah.
But we will we will be more than happy to do so, as long as you trust us with your delightful charge, Ziz.
There wouldn't be anyone better.
So, Lewin, you realise there's two conversations going on here.
I don't understand the other one, though.
No, but you realise that there was an under conversation going on.
Yes. There's some. You're doing a double speak. I've heard about this.
JC will just sort of do that slow head turn at you, like, shut up.
Phobos is literally just going to immediately grab Lewin's lips and just hold him.
So you tie his moustache together, to his moustache to his beard, so he can't talk.
Yeah, I will also ask obviously directions to go see the Grand Sire and stuff like that as well, and tell her that we will definitely make note to do that as soon as feasibly possible.
But the cost for looking after the kittens would be about 15% of everything you have on you at the moment. That's in thieves' can.
Yes. Let me just work out quickly. That's going to be a fair chunk, but kittens are worth it. Where's me thing? I don't really know. Right.
Kittens and babies are the most expensive thing that you'll ever have.
15. So that would, in theory, be just under 7,000. So I will need access to the portable hole.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll find a reasonable place outside so no one falls into it whilst we excavate that level of money.
Yep. So yeah, so I worked it out being, as I said, 6,750-ish. I will give
JC, you know you're being watched whilst this is being done, whilst the hole is being opened.
Yeah, I'll tell Thomas to sort of do it a bit in the corner, but yeah, we are going to be watched, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, I'll hand over 7,000 gold from that stash pot, which is slightly more than 15%. So it's like here's 15% and a bit extra. So
well, it's very generous, and I will take your charges. Do they have names?
I have not named them yet. Unfortunately, their mother, who was going to name them, passed away before she could. So
well, that will fall to
yell from the corner. One's called Diego.
Diego. And what's the other one called?
What are they both male or female? Or
one male, one female.
I need a female name.
Dora. Diego, Dora, the Explorer.
Dora, there you go.
Diego and Dora.
Diego and Dora.
Okay. Diego and Dora, I've been charged to be your ward for the foreseeable future.
Are these sort of stereotypical tabaxi names?
Well, Diego could be, because Jacques, but I'm not sure about Dora.
How about Esteban? Would that be a name?
No, I quite like
I don't think Esteban would be quite happy, would she?
No, I think having the whole sort of D&D is the initials.
I like
Diego
it.
and Dora.
Okay. I will look after your charges whilst you're here. It will be good manners to introduce yourself to my grandsire at some time.
Yes, we will make haste for that the second we can.
Have a good day. And she takes the kittens, and the women around her look after the kittens. One of them is still slightly fainted on the floor and comes around and looks at Lord Darcy. Oh, would you help me up?
Well, of course. Just take my hand.
And her hand slips off. I'm sorry. You're slightly moist.
Ah, that does occasionally happen. One moment.
He gets. JC will come over and just go. He gets nervous around women, sweaty hands.
Silence.
Well done, JC. You've done a good job. She seems like a very trustworthy character.
Well, you can't trust anyone better than the ones in the know.
Oh,
So she gives you a golden leaf mark.
In the know of what? Oh, is she a scholar of some kind?
Of sorts.
Yes, a scholar of babysitting, Lewin.
Well, that seems ridiculous, but if there was a city for someone to dedicate themselves to that sort of study, it would be Syngorn.
Yeah, if I was a hand, it'd come off.
Ian, a golden leaf mark, yeah? A golden leaf mark, yes?
Yeah, so basically it's like a small golden leaf inscripted with runes on the back which you can't read. And this is my pledge to look after your Diego and Dora.
JC will do a very sort of elongated bow, holding the cloak up behind, tipping at the hat sort of thing as a gesture of gratitude and thanks.
Your family is my family. And she takes them away and she's cooing over them now.
Yeah.
Her dress is like sagging low with 7,500 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Which is exceedingly heavy, and she just chinks. And one of her lady friends comes and takes most of the coins away.
JC, that's rather a lot to pay for a wench.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to make sure these kittens are safe, and trust me, there's probably no one better in the city.
I think JC's made the correct decision. I've looked over the situation, and she seems very trustworthy.
JC, could you just make a insight roll for me, please?
I'll wait for it. 25.
Oh, well, you know she is dishonest, but you recognise the work of a guild similar to one that you belong to.
Yep.
And you know that if the guild contracts are broken, then there will be all hell to pay, and there may be inter-guild warfare. So you think probably they will be safe.
Yes.
Plus, you can always trust a dishonest person to be dishonest.
Yep. It's the honest ones that you got to worry about, because you can always trust the honest ones to be dishonest.
So you're outside now. The tavern is closed as people go outside and watch with horror the flames of the burnt expanse illuminating underside of the cloud, and there's smoke in the air and ash is falling.
Goodness me.
Time to go and harass the guards again, I guess.
I do fear we don't have long.
As I say, you're all looking like ragamuffins at the moment.
I've got my new clothes on. Am I looking okay?
You're looking fine. You're looking quite splendid, apart from the burnt face.
Yeah.
But you can hide that with under your hood.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and Lake Yuonlus below you, you can see it's reflecting the red. Imagine those old movies of the Blitz, where the fire is illuminating underside of the clouds. That's what you can see to your west and to the south and to your west. The mountains behind you, even the peaks have a red hue to them, which is angry. And this is not the red hue of Rudus. This is the red hue of the reflection of the fire.
Good morning. Good morning, Syngorn.
Lewin, I seem to remember you have a talent for cleaning yourself and others up. Is there any chance you could make us all look a little more presentable?
Absolutely. I can only do it as so much as removing the sweat and grime off your person and clothing. But as we are travelling, I will find suitable places to just prestidigitate all of the mess off and use a bit of mending on people's clothes.
Okay. So you can do so. So the rents, they are cleaned up to a degree, but they are still look very travel worn.
Yeah, it's a limitation.
It is. You are not. This isn't your best gear that you could wear. But you're a little bit more presentable now. But it's probably going to take about an hour to do all that, because it takes a long time to clean somebody.
That's fine. I'll do as much as I can on the move.
Okay.
I was going to say, could I can also I can't prestidigitate, but I can mend, so I could cut a little bit of that time off.
You can prestidigitate. You did that last week. You cleaned.
I thought I only had mending.
You did the kittens' nappies.
Oh, I do have both.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do
Yeah.
have both. Of course, I did. Yeah. So I'll help Lewin then. I will.
Okay. Well, you
shave
can't
some
be
of that
walking
time
doing
off.
that. I mean, you could find a quiet place to do so if you wish. And between you, it'll probably take about half an hour to get you looking sort of decent again.
I think a strategic cleanup wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, seems appropriate.
Okay. So half an hour later, it's now after midnight. The city seems to finally have become aware that there's a problem that they need to deal with.
Do any of us remember what sort of time or day it was that we arrived just before the city went last time? As for character asking actual people.
Probably midday you turned up.
At midday.
Yeah.
We've probably only got about 12 hours left at most.
Well, potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you are now respectable, reasonably clean. There is a mound of dirt beside you all.
Vaguely in the shape of a cat.
Yes. You can see Lake Wanderless where you are, reflecting the fires off the underside of the cloud. Dak, could you make for me, please, a nature roll?
Sure. 11.
No. Okay. You're the world's worst druid, aren't you?
I know, I'm so bad.
Sometimes failing rolls isn't such a bad thing.
Usually.
But this time.
Okay, so you are concentrating on the lake. You feel sadness that the forest is burning. What do you wish to do?
Well, I think we've resolved to go and pester the guards, haven't we? Unless anyone's come up with something else in the interim. It's
We need to make one little stop off on the way there.
So from the spell Bender's Guild Hall down here, you see lightning come up, and there's a shield around the city that glows and shimmers a little bit. Every once in a while, you see a flash in the shield. It's too far away to see what it is, but those with arcane skills know that the shield's doing its job.
JC, what was this stop you wanted to make? Because I think we're running out of time.
It's just on the way. I need to go say hello to someone quickly. Introduce ourselves. It's Prudent.
Do you remember the way to get to us? Like to where we're going? Would you remember your way?
I would assume I would, because we literally gone from that.
You don't know you don't know where to go, JC. It would probably take you the best part of a few days to actually find out where and who this person is. There wouldn't be a sign somewhere saying Thieves Guild here.
Yeah.
Outside of a house.
I assume I would have asked her whereabouts I needed to have gone to go and introduce.
She wouldn't.
Helpful, really.
She wouldn't tell you. She wouldn't tell you that. If you're a good thief, you'd be able to work it out.
Alright, well that'll be something I'll be doing on the way there then. And if I do manage to work it out, I'll sort of zip off to the side, go and say hi, and come back.
We could ask one of the locals.
Doesn't quite work that way, Lou. Street smarts and all.
Is
Yes.
that the best use of our time, do we think, right now?
I think we have other pressing concerns.
Well, yes and no. We have pressing concerns now, and we'll have pressing concerns in a bit, so we'll see what happens. Yes, that sort of smile on his face. Yeah.
Problems now or problems later. Choose, but there will be problems.
Yes.
So what are you doing?
Well, I will give Dak the very superfluously written, but still written letter.
Sure. I feel like we're missing something here, but I don't know what it is, and Dak certainly isn't city wise enough to know. So we're gonna go and head to the guards, I think.
So you go to the Emerald Citadel. Okay. So you see it's almost like a park outside it. There's trees everywhere. There was this wide, flowing marble staircase that goes up to these gates for the Emerald Citadel. There are guards there. The ones at the bottom nod and let you go up, but the guards by the door say, "Ah, you are back, or no?
We are indeed.
You still can't come in,
Yeah,
even though you cleaned yourself up a little bit."
Oh, we did. Yes, I'm glad you noticed.
Yes. We don't smell so much of poo-poo.
Well, yeah, no, it's hard work saving a city.
Salut, mon ami.
Have you got the document, Lewin?
I will. I've already given it to you. I gave it to you while we
Oh,
were
I thought
walking.
you gave me the description of the problem currently.
I have given you both.
Oh right, okay, there we are. So yes, I will present the first forgery, not forgery, to say, will this suffice for us to enter?
Which one are you giving them?
The first, the one that we originally was considering a forgery, but now is not.
Oh, okay. Let me have a look. Oh, the Guildrunner.
As I said, Guildrunner's son.
Really?
Oh,
He looks like a half-breed with the
That's
beard and stuff.
yes. I would have rather you hadn't mentioned that, Dak. But yes, I am indeed
Well.
one of the Guildrunner's scions.
Well, I will call them Major Domo. And there's a great big puller there which he pulls, and somebody comes, and you hear a whispered conversation. Person comes away, and you stand there, and they just look at you. They're standing there at attention.
So, how about this fire? Looks intimidating, yeah?
Yeah.
Been
Well, I mean,
guarding
cities
for a
and-
long time?
Sorry, what did you say? Didn't catch that.
Oh, have you been guarding for a long time?
Sorry, just going to change.
Terrible weather we're having today.
And they're not gonna. Imagine trying to have a conversation with the guys at Buckingham Palace.
The Royal Guard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna find a comfortable spot to sit and start playing my panpipes while I wait.
Excellent. What sort of tune are you going to play?
I'm going to try and keep things hopeful and joyous, considering the atrocities happening outside.
Okay, make a performance roll for me.
29.
And despite themselves, the guards start to tap their feet and says, "Oh, it's very quite good, really, isn't he? It's a song from the Feywild. I don't have any panpipe music, unfortunately.
And I don't have any panpipes on me either, unfortunately.
Very impressive performance there.
And they just stand there and said, "Well, it's very interesting, but we will wait for the Major Domo to come and see about this thing you have."
How long is this likely to take?
Oh, I don't know. Depends how important it is.
Well, you see all that fire that's going on there? I mean, I don't know how much you've been told, but the city is currently under attack, and it's not going to end well unless we get this information to who it needs to go to. So yeah, bit of a rush.
Just casual end of the world stuff. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's hard not to be a bit laissez-faire because everyone else bloody is.
Well, we shall wait to see if the Major Domo wishes to entertain you or not.
I mean, if they're too busy, we could also speak with the minor domo.
So you know the Major Domo is is basically effectively the Chamberlain for the High Warden.
Absolutely.
Everything has to go through this individual first. And 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then the door opens. And you see an elderly looking elf there. With... I did have a description of him somewhere and I've lost it. Oh, there we go. That's good, isn't it? He's standing there. He's wearing a butler's outfit. His hair is grey, which is unusual for an elf. Very tall, is a high elf. And he looks at you all and says, in impeccable common, "Yes. You have a missive from the Guildrunner."
Yes, we are doing work for him and we've returned and we need to speak to him urgently. It's a matter of security for Syngorn.
Wrong place, Dak.
Huh?
We don't want to speak with him. We want to speak with High Warden Threhold. That's why we're here.
Oh, I thought they were all in concert together, in meeting together.
Yeah, but this is where she's based out of, so it would make more sense to try and speak to her here.
Ah, okay. That then.
You think you can just come in here and speak to the High Warder?
Well, when it's this important, I think anyone should be able to speak to anyone.
Well, you have the seal.
Yep.
Well, come on through, and you tell me your tale, and I will see whether it's worth their time, or whether you should go back onto the streets.
Very well. As we're going in, then I will proceed to explain the situation.
And there's a squadron of guards around him as well.
Yeah, that's to be expected, I suppose.
So, pray sit, and there is a table which he sits behind in an elevated, it's almost throne-like chair, very opulent. Inside, you can see there are high elm-type trees. And actually, in the citadel itself, there's almost the columns are trees themselves, sculpted the stone sculpted to be very realistic. Very high vaulted ceilings. You see beautiful portraits of previous wardens along the walls. And some of whom they've got their names underneath, and some of them you recognise, Lewin, from years gone by. And you realise that the High Wardens are all based on the lineage from the founder of Syngorn. You're taken into an ante-room where he sits behind a desk, and there are guards there, and you are asked to leave your weapons by the door.
Yep.
So you do so?
Yeah.
When they say weapons, I will leave my staff of ice by the door.
Yeah, I'll leave my sickle. It's like probably can't do much with it anyway at this rate. Not very successful with it.
And he looks and says, "And your pipes? Did you leave your pipes outside just in case?"
Okay. He'll put his party on and he'll leave his
And
party,
there's a table outside. And there's a guard standing over them. So you go in there. So please sit. Would you like some wine?
Not for me, thank you. Given
Oh,
the
yes,
situation, a
please.
clear head seems useful.
So a glass of red wine is poured for you, Lewin. And it's a
one as well.
for both of you. Fantastic vintage. Very, very smooth. This is like a Premier Cru type thing. And it's probably one of their best wines you ever tasted. The Majordomo, Ibimas, introduces himself. I am Majordomo Ibimas. I am the Chamberlain for and the lookout for the High Warden. Tell me the story and I'll see whether this needs to bother her in this difficult time. She is in council with some of the other wardens.
So I will try and keep it brief, as the story in and of itself is very long and time is short.
So how brief are you going to keep it?
Literally the cliff notes. So I'll say that the city is obviously...
Teleport city bad.
The city is clearly under attack, as it is now, by demons. We know that the city is preparing to teleport itself to the Feywild. And we have information that travel to the Feywild will fail, and as a result, Syngorn and all of its population will be killed and destroyed.
We need to mention where. We also need to mention where Syngorn goes.
Yes,
I would say.
yes.
So
All the key relevant information, but not all the fluff.
So is anybody else joining in? Is it just you doing this as the sole representative?
If I feel like Dak's missing anything pertinent to pleading our case, I will dive in, or any sort of more significant details. As he's saying, just where he just missed over that, where.
So could you make a
yeah,
persuasion roll, please, Dak, with advantage from the help that you get?
Well, I've got disadvantage because of exhaustion, so it'll be a straight roll. Was it persuasion? Did you say? Sorry. 15.
Well, no matter what.
Determined to get 15.
Interesting story, but
Well, if you like, I can elaborate in so much as, in order to get back from Limbo, we had to collect fragments of Syngorn, the Threhold Crests more specifically. I would imagine you're familiar with them, yes?
I know of the Threhold Crests.
Yes, well, would it help you to believe our current situation if we were to show you that we have at least one of them in our bag currently?
Under 4 bodies.
Yeah, well, we can shuffle those out the way.
Well,
Comment on those.
show me these Threhold Crests then.
Very well.
We will need suitable space to open the portable
Yes.
hole, so I should be able to
The guards will open the portable hole.
Very well.
Oh, right.
Dersius, you'll probably need to oik it out because it's rather heavy.
No, the guards will do that. Sergeant, would you open their portable hole and retrieve a Threhold Crest if it's in there?
I think
Sir, yes, sir, of course I will.
Just mind your step.
God, you got 4 dead bodies in there.
Yeah, but to be fair, we are trying to get them back to the city to be buried or something, if we could.
Yes.
Well, you got a couple of human commoners, and you got the person that Lord Darcy was escorting. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably call that. I mean, by the way, there are some unfortunates that didn't make it on our trip back to the city. They are in need of a proper burial, so do be respectful.
and the sergeant stands back and says, "Okay, I think." And he peels open do you give him the portable hole?
Yeah.
and he peels it open. Oh, sacre bleu! Look at all these dead people, but all that money! Oh, where's those crests then?
Oh, you might have to rummage around. They're probably at the bottom.
So more guards come in and they stand over you.
Please be careful with your hands. There will be a few of our backup weapons in the hole.
Lord Darcy, what was the name of the lady that you accompanied at the start?
Mania Greenfold, I think it was.
It was.
Mania, yep.
Oh, got Madame Greenfold here. Oh no, she's dead.
Yes, we were trying to escort her back to safety, but were ambushed. The least we could do was bring her body back for a proper burial.
Okay, could you make a deception roll for me, please? But you have advantage on this.
If it also helps, says that, Daisy would take his hat off and put it on his chest and sort of do that, that respectful.
Well, there we go.
Really? Are you sure you did not kill her and take all her money?
No, I think you could probably see from her injuries that was definitely not a blade that caused that.
Well, we will retrieve the bodies and we will give them their burial that they deserve.
Thank you.
And so a physician comes in and a number of guards, and they retrieve the bodies. So they're all taken out of the portable hole.
I will also ask them to take, probably I'd say, a few gold per body, so that they can receive decent burials.
It's very generous of you for these smelly humans.
Well, we were responsible to try and bring them back safely, and we felt the least we can do is give them a decent burial after everything they've gone through.
Majordomo, there is a Threhold Crest in here. Look. Oh, there are two. There are two. The Majordomo gets up, looks in. And he wiggles his fingers, and he puts a pair of spectacles on. He looks in there. They're magic too. They look like Threhold Crests.
I must warn you, though, we don't know if those ones were some of the ones that have been tampered with, or whether they were all tampered with, so all Threhold Crests should be held in suspicion.
They are the Threhold Crests from the Fey Grove, these.
I can verify what our leader is saying is correct. When we were in the plane between planes, there was some form of tampering which resulted in the normal teleportation to the Feywild to be redirected towards the plane of Limbo. If you attempted to teleport out now, there is a very high risk that the entirety of Syngorn would be teleported into Limbo.
This is dire news.
There is an upside to all of this. We are now informed of this risk, and you have in your midst perhaps some of the greatest warriors and spellcasters in the continent. And we are more than happy to offer our aid to Syngorn while this matter is resolved.
He will start looking around the room going, who the hell is he talking about?
Okay, so he gets up and says, stay here. And he walks out.
I think that went pretty well. Everyone, quick, work on your sales pitch for your abilities.
Does feel a bit that way, doesn't it?
That's going to take a long time. Short while later, you feel the presence of royalty. You recognise the figure of the High Warden. She comes in. She is majestic. She has porcelain features. There's a slight greyness to her hair. She is tall and slender.
Can I do my best to remember the formal sort of introductory sort of what's the word I'm thinking
You
of?
would know how to introduce yourself
Yes,
to her.
Etiquette is the word.
The
I'm
etiquette.
thinking of. Yes.
And you do so because you have those skills from years ago. And she looks at you, and all there are guards and there are mages with her as well. So, and she speaks again in common to you. What is this about the Threhold Crests? Or why are you in ownership of 2 of them?
As we have explained to your subordinate, we gathered those from what is essentially a future timeline at this point, from within Limbo, once the city had already been destroyed. Through various complicated means, which quite frankly we don't understand, we've ended up back before the city teleported to Limbo, and we're just trying to keep you all alive and the city intact. It's a very difficult story to believe, we accept, so showing the Threhold Crests was the best we could do to try and prove our case.
And you see now behind her, you see the Verdant Lord, Selindar, standing there, wearing chain armour, a glowing green sword by his side, and the voice of memory, Oestra, standing there to her, on her other side. Could you all make wisdom saving throws for me, please? You feel a prodding into your mind from Oestra. You may choose to let her succeed if you wish.
Oh yeah, Dak will let her succeed.
Oh no.
She's got nothing to hide.
Do I get advantage on this, wouldn't I?
You get advantage on this, yeah.
Magic resistance. Wisdom saving throw.
Like I say, JC's got nothing to hide, so he'll just let it happen.
So go through your... as you're going through your story, you feel that your minds, one by one, are being rifled through. Lewin, you resist.
Just as she goes in, there's just a portcullis just locks down.
And an eye is raised and looked at you.
Specifically for Phomos' resistance, it's only going to be if you're trying to delve into stuff about his benefactor and previous benefactor, because that's personal to him and he's not happy.
She's not looking at that. She's looking at your story and making sure it scans out.
Okay.
What they say, High Warden, seems to be true. We must tell the Guildrunner. He is trying to rebuild two of Threhold Crests that were broken by that minx from the Feywild, Artagna.
You know which 2 have potentially been tampered with then. That's great news. We really didn't know what had been affected where.
Come, and they take you into an anteroom, which is where they've been having council, and you can see there are pots of black coffee there. Most of them have been emptied. The room is stale from sweat. They have been here for some time. You seem to know things that you should not, and this is the High Warden. If you were intending us ill, then I do not think you would have come here. And
no, we're just trying to save everyone.
And the voice of memory tells me that your motives are clear. This is grave news. The demon attack. We have tried to keep this from the residents of Syngorn, which is now inescapable. They are on our doors. The shield is being kept up by the mages of the Spellbenders Guild. They're also trying. The Guildrunner is there. He has called in the Saptarishi. Sorry, the Saptarishi, I beg your pardon. He's called in the Saptarishi. You don't know what that is, but Lewin, could you make a history roll for me, please?
A history roll. 29.
Oh, okay. You know everything about everything. So the Saptarishi are... that you have heard of this in Elvish history. The Saptarishi is a a convene of the greatest elves from the major cities of elfdom in Exandria. And the lead elf, the lead mage from each city, is obliged, when summoned by a Saptarishi, and it's only happened 3 times in the past, to attend to try and fix something which needs fixing. And you have heard of this in the past. It is not rarely been called on. There has been a lot of political capital required to get the head wizards from other areas to come. And if the Saptarishi are there and has been called, it is to do something which is beyond the normal ability of everyday magicians and elves and what have you.
Excellent. I will relay with the normal subtlety as much as I can to Dak to explain what that term means.
So you know that you think probably the shield around Syngorn may well be powered by these powerful wizards, using not just their arcane skills, but using multipliers, skill multipliers, and arcane multipliers. And you know that because you've been in Syngorn before, that the drug sood is often used to try and improve people's magical skills.
We can't say for sure exactly whether events are going to play out exactly like they did for us the first time, but if they do, ourselves from this timeline should be arriving at Syngorn's perimeter fairly soon if we've got the timing right. A fairly substantial battle will ensue, but we were victorious. But by the time that had happened, Syngorn had already teleported behind us, and that's when we found out you'd ended up in limbo. So the defeat of the oncoming wave may still be in play, but we should plan to defend ourselves just in case us being here now has altered the way events will play out.
You speak of riddles of our future is your past. This is difficult to comprehend.
Yes, it is.
It's difficult for even us to, at times, comprehend. As unbelievable as it sounds, it is the case.
The Guildrunner is in the Spellbinders Guild Hall. He's trying to create and rebuild the broken Threhold Crests.
Well, you are more than welcome to use the 2 we've brought with us, but I would highly recommend all of the crests are checked to make sure they haven't been tampered with before any sort of transport is attempted. And
the High Warden clicks her fingers. The mage comes along and is whispered to and runs off with a wide, alarmed expression on their face. This is terrible news. Our refuge is usually in the Feywild. The build-up, we've already started the ritual to do so, but we just need the last 2 Threhold Crests. I do not know what will happen if all the Threhold Crests are not in place. The Guildrunner, he is our eminent Guildrunner. He and the wizards of the Spellbenders Guild will be able to help you more than I can with this, I think. But they are indisposed. Yes, they are locked away. We cannot get to them. We cannot communicate with them.
We are willing to help in any way we can, but we will need to be told what needs to be done. This is all unfamiliar to us.
I do not know. The Guildmaster reckoned, so the Guildrunner reckoned he could have the new Threhold Crests in place by sunrise in 2 days. we have to hold out against the demons for that long. The shield is holding at the moment.
Are we able to pass through this shield? Or are we sealed in now?
We are sealed in. The demons are at the gates. We dare not open that because they will flood in.
No, I was just wondering whether we could perhaps rest and then attempt to thin the numbers, but perhaps that won't be an option.
You do look like you are flagging.
We just wanted to save as many lives as possible, and foregoing some sleep seemed like a worthwhile trade.
Well, you have the Threhold Crests there. We will need to take those from you, and we will plug the gaps. At least, if they will fill the vacancies that have been left by that strange fellow from the Feywild.
In return, if you take Threhold Crest, can we please retrieve our weapons? If the worst were to happen while we rest, we need to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
Well, if you're enemies of Syngorn, then we are doomed, because you know our secrets.
If we were enemies of Syngorn, we'd be pretty foolhardy to try and come in here and convince you otherwise. Believe me, we're not. We are just as confused as you as to why we're in this situation. Okay. But if time's given us a chance to come back and try and fix this, it's worth a shot.
So they take the Threhold Crests out. They take 100 gold pieces out for the burials. They've taken the bodies out. Lord Darcy, you're probably not going to get paid now.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll get the money
Darcy will pay you out the coffers, it's fine.
And I would suggest you see if you can communicate at all with the Guildrunner, although he may be disposed. We need him and the Saptarishi to reinstall these Threhold Crests.
Yes, if you can just tell us where we would find him, and then perhaps some sort of insignia or something as such.
And he points, and you can see lightning rising from a structure on the southern parts of Lake Yuanless.
Wonderful. We will get there as quickly as possible. Is there anything you can give us to help us with getting through guarded areas? We had quite a time getting into here in the first place, as you can imagine, and time is of the essence.
And the High Warden nods at one of the guards, and you are given a seal. It's like a ring with the High Warden seal on it.
Wonderful. Very good. Well,
and from what you see, realise there's a slight magical glow to this as well.
Well, if there's anything else you need from us immediately, we will.
You have given us much to think on. So the ritual has already started. The Threhold Crests are starting to power up. We've never been in a position where we've started this ritual and stopped it. I do not know if that magic will backfire.
Well,
there's only one way to find out, I suppose. But that could be.
It does seem that way.
That could be ill. That could be mean ill for us. I would suggest you all look terrible, and you should grab some food and something, and some rest as much as you can. The shield is up. And we, at least for the time being, safe.
Thank you. I know this was difficult to believe, but I'm glad you were able to find it within you to trust strangers.
Well, you have Threhold Crests in your bag. We will need to examine them to make sure they are not the things that you say will actually take us to Limbo. And you can see her shudder as she says that.
Yes, absolutely. Everything should be checked, doubly so.
And as we're starting, we will go round, check every Threhold Crest
Yes, definitely.
to see if there's anything untoward there. Okay. You need to go and rest. We need to consider this, and we need to organise the defences. And she looks at the at the war leader there, and he says the shields are holding, but our scouts have reported a infernal engine being trundled close. We are not sure what it is, but one of our wizards has used a scrying on it, and it looks like it's a shield breaker from the depths of the hells. What that's doing with demons, I do not know, but there are forces at play here. That will be here, we think, probably within the next 30 hours. We have our troops and some of our best warriors out in the verdant expanse, but they are being sorely tested and beaten back by the demons themselves.
Well, good news for you is Dersius and our leader Dak here are worth hundreds of soldiers individually.
Good, we may have need of your skills. But
It's just a very slight side-eye glare from Fomos at Lewin not being mentioned.
You are given quarters to go and rest in, if you wish.
I think that's probably sensible.
They leave. And you can hear them discussing and looking very worried now. You can have a long rest if you wish.
I think that's a good idea.
And you have a long rest. Okay. And you are woken early in the morning by a couple of serving people, and food is given to you, and you are a missive is given to you. Dak, please see the Guildrunner as soon as possible. We are checking the Threhold Crests. So far, they all seem intact. The ones you've given us seem intact too, but there's some weird magic which is affecting our casting outside of our shield. You have now raised the spectre of Limbo, and that, to be fair, terrifies me.
Mm-hmm. I will share that news with the group and say,
Okay.
Looks like it wasn't just us that was affected by the wild magic.
So, what are you going to do? You are ushered out.
Guildrunner then, I suppose.
So the morning is here, but the clouds are low and dark, and there's soot in them. You can smell now the burning forest. And the air is warm from the heat of the burning verdant expanse. So you go down towards the Spellbinders Guild Hall, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that seems
Okay.
like the place to be.
On the way there, if there's any shops that might sell arrows or bolts, I will want to pop in and buy some.
You can do so. They are expensive.
How many?
Basically,
Basically, it would be 17, 13, and 11. So basically, make 20 each.
so 20 each.
Yeah.
You can buy them. They will cost a gold piece each, the arrows.
Yeah, that's fine. So that'd be
But
40.
they do an extra +1 damage.
I'm happy with that.
But they're not magical, but they're just very, very well made.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It was me thinking that was siege prices.
No,
Not yet.
it is very, very expensive in Syngorn. So you go towards, you go back in the tarn ward. You see people are there. The frivolity of the previous day is forced now. People are looking at the soot is settling on the ground, a little bit like volcano ash. You go down to the Spellbinders Guild Hall. The lightning is flashing from one of the turrets. You show your pass and you are let in. Because that's just expedite things a little bit. If you just tell me what you're going to do when you get in, I'm just going to change the screen for you.
Yeah, I think really it's just a case of trying to get an audience with the Guildrunner as quickly as possible to, again, reiterate the situation to him to make sure he's up to date, and then find out if there's anything with that information he then needs us to do.
So you get into the guild hall. You can see fey flowers here. In the centre you can see a number of mages standing there. Their arms are pointing at each other, and there's arcane magic flowing from their fingers to each, and it's helping to power the shield. They look tired, they look strained. And as you stand and watch there, one of them leaves and another person comes in. There are archers in here, there are warriors here. You have been here once before, or a couple of times before here, Lewin. It's normally very busy, there's very few people running around now. So you've come in. Can you see the picture? Sorry, can you see the?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. The air is dark from the soot, and it's gradually setting, almost like a black snow. It's settling. You look up and you can see a flash as something runs into the shield, and these wizards here are powering it up and keeping. You see, for those who've got arcane skills, you can see what they're effectively doing. Game mechanics are they're feeding spell slots into the shield. So you've come in here.
Good. Right, we better find someone that we can ask for directions, I suppose. Or Lewin, do you think this would be better led by you? What do you think? Oh, no, Lewin's BRB'd. Okay, it's on me then. If we make our way up then, I will attempt to get the attention of this elven warrior here.
And he looks at you and says, what are you doing here? Sorry, what are you doing here?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We are here urgently to speak to the Guildrunner.
By whose authority?
Someone want to fill in the name for me there, because I'm bad with names.
The High Warden.
Show the seal.
There you go.
Oh. Yeah, you have come from the High Warden. The Guildrunner is indisposed at the moment. He is in with the Saptarishi. They are creating the new Threhold Crests.
Yes, that's why we need to speak to him. There is no need for him to do that. We have crests.
What?
Exactly.
They are sealed away. What they're doing is exceedingly dangerous. They have created a force bubble around them, like some of these magicians can do, you know. And if something goes very badly wrong, at least the explosion will be kept within that bubble.
Well, that's why we need to interrupt them, because we can prevent any risk of that at all. They can stop immediately and everything will be fine.
I don't know if you can get him, but I will take you there.
Thank you.
And you realise that this is one of the commanders in this place. They've got rid of most of the troops are on the walls.
Yeah, I figured.
But he says I will bring you through. We've also had a message from the High Warden that you will be coming, so we have expected you.
Very good.
Okay, so they take you in to a room here.
Ooh,
take you all in. Can you all go in?
I can't get myself in.
Let's open the door.
There we go.
This is
Okay,
fancy.
I am back. This is a very fancy-looking battle map.
Okay, so you all get escorted in. So basically, these people here have been feeding spell slots into the shield, try and keep it up. You have been you're being escorted to see the Guildrunner. Dak has shown the seal. You can see now in this space, this is a teleportation circle, a permanent one here, which is the teleportation circle of Syngorn. And you get led past it.
I've lost.
Where have you gone?
I am north of the sofa.
Okay. So you get escorted. The Elven Warrior, you need to follow him.
Yep.
And you come up here. And the place is distressingly empty. And then you get taken in the end into this small anteroom. There is a buzz, and you feel there is an invisible force shield now around the room, just to your, just up to your north here. I've brought you here, but I do not know how you can get in. They are indisposed. The Saptarishi are creating the Threhold Crests. This is old magic, apparently, and this is a skill that has been lost, and they're trying to bring back.
Would it be through these doors to our west?
Yep.
Okay. Can I just go up and give the door a push? Is it unlocked?
You hit a force field.
Oh, okay, so it's actually at the door frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Lewin, you're more magically inclined. Have you got any ideas for how we might get the attention of those inside?
I could just disintegrate this, but I don't imagine that's the most polite way. That's like how JC enters houses.
Yeah.
What I will do is I will just flick through my tome, and I will just cast Identify on it to see if I can find out what spell this is.
So
how close can Dak get to the doors?
Very close, but there's like a Star Trek force field just before it.
Can JC come up and just try and knock on it?
So you can't actually hit the door, so you just hit the force field.
Gonna hit the force field as hard as I can, just as a knock sort of thing, Try to make.
So it doesn't make a lot of noise, but you see this like ripples coming out of it as you try and as it stops you going through. So Lewin casts Identify. Are you using a spell, or are you just using it as a ritual?
I will use it as a spell this time, as I think we're in a bit of a hurry.
So you can see this is a wall of force of a size you've not seen before. Clearly, it is upcast. It is more powerful than a standard wall of force. It's more resistant, but it is there. You know that a standard wall of force will not be taken out with dispel magic. You know, disintegrate can take out a normal wall of force. You don't know if you can do it for this.
Also, it doesn't seem a great way to to enter into the room. Might be taken the wrong way.
Also, apologies, I've tried to find you guys because I've just got back and I've got myself stuck on the wall at the bottom left. I can't find.
Where are you?
I'm on the bottom of the far wall. I'm not sure how I ping myself on this.
There we go.
Oh, I've disappeared.
Up there at the top.
Hey, thank you.
There you go.
Right,
Thank you.
someone check my logic for me. So there's a wall of force in front of the door. We can see the door, so the force field is transparent. So seemingly all we actually need to do is get line of sight to whoever's inside to get their attention. That being said, there's a wall. Do we think Darcius or someone could perhaps poke a hole in the wall or damage the wall in such a way where we could remove a brick and see through?
Again, it certainly could work.
So-
Whether that gives the right impression of what we're trying to do or not.
So you hear,
I mean, yeah.
you hear wind chimes from in there. And you can hear mumbling and chanting.
Perhaps.
Sound seems to carry.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, thaumaturgy sounds like it might be an answer.
Or yelling.
That's what thaumaturgy is. It's magic yelling.
Ooh.
Why is it not on my sheet?
So it's not my forte.
I'm pretty sure it's an innate race one for me, but I can't find it. Why is that disappeared?
And whilst you have a look, I'm just going to go for a wee and going to get myself a beer.
No worries, I will find out what's happened to my thaumaturgy.
We don't know any of the people the other side of that wall, do we?
Oh, the Guildrunner.
Daddy, I've returned.
Why didn't
Oh, it's you.
Father!
Yes, thank you. I knew someone had to do that.
saying that,
Unhandedly
JT
priest.
has met your dad, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think most of you've met my dad. Not you.
Do you have
Thomas,
your
not
dad's
you,
on
JC,
service?
Not you, Darcius, and not me. I think that's a whole bunch of the issues with Lewin to begin with.
Why don't I just do message? I know he's the other side of the wall. I don't. If I'm familiar with the person, I don't need to see them. I just need to know they're there. So I could just look at the wall, point at the wall vaguely, and go, "Oi, let us in. Your son has returned."
I like the idea of using message. I don't like the idea of JC being the speaker. You're not the most tactful of people.
True.
What's going on about?
I mean,
Not like Dersius, anyway.
yeah, and we kind of know from experience the Wall of Force tends to do some strange stuff with spells trying to go through it, so it may not even work, but it's worth a go.
Well, I'll give it a go.
Okay, well that sounds like a plan, and if not, magic healing.
What do you want me to actually say, Lewin? He's your father. You should know him well enough.
Oh, well, if you want to really get through to him, don't mention me at all.
Father!
No, we're going to use this as an excuse to rebuild your family.
Yes.
Yes, you clearly haven't met my family for very long, have you? Father,
Terrible news, Mr. Boreal. Your son died.
Father Dearest recognises me in the same way that he recognises
Hoki-doki.
a fond pet.
So, what is your plan?
JC is going to walk relatively near the wall, point at the wall because he's met Lewin's dad before, so he's at least familiar with him, and he's going to do message and say that we are outside, we need to be let in, we have news and quests to deliver.
There was no response.
Ah. Well, I tried, guys.
Valiant effort.
In that case, then let's try magical yelling.
Magical yelling.
Yeah, magical yelling. So yes, I I will cast Thaumaturgy and then essentially repeat JC's message.
What are you going to say?
We have crests out here. Please come out and talk to us.
So you blasted out. It echoes around this space. This window here breaks with a sound. And you just hear the echoes fade. You hear the wind chimes.
Yeah, I think maybe we might have to go with a slightly more rude option.
Hello, who is it?
Ah, marvelous. We have Threhold Crests.
What? We've already got some.
Yes, we have the ones you require.
And this chap is speaking very strange common with a very thick accent. He's a dark-skinned elf. What do you want? We are trying to be very busy here.
Yes.
And who are you? Why are you here? Why did the guards let you in?
You don't need to do the work you're doing. We have the crests you're trying to create already. You can stop
what?
now. We have the crests. Yeah, I'm just going to do the typical English thing of speaking slower and louder because I don't know what else to do.
This is no good. Your accent is terrible. Dak, the Mercy Tribe.
Ah, hello there.
You see you see the Green Man.
It's very good to see you again. We understand.
What are you doing here? We are indisposed.
Yes,
You were tasked. Have you failed on your task with the mine?
It's a lot more complicated than that. We have Threhold Crests. You don't need to create any more.
What?
Yes, we have Threhold Crests. You don't need to create any more. You can stop what you're doing.
And he looks. What do you mean you have Threhold Crests?
There was some time travel, some strange things we don't really understand.
And the chanting stops. And everybody looks. So, the shield is up because what we're doing here is very delicate. We are creating.
Yes,
we are creating with the. We are creating Threhold Crests.
Yes, that's why I'm telling you to stop because I know it's dangerous and you're risking your lives. You don't need to.
But we do because Syngorn is without. We cannot shift to the Feywild without these Threhold Crests which we are building.
No,
it is a mighty task.
We brought some with us, so we have ones you can use instead of making more.
So you make no sense.
As I said, it's time travel. It's complicated, but we have crests you can use now. You don't need to make any more.
And he relays that back. They say they have some already.
Stocking issue.
I think my outside's already got some.
Yeah.
He's got some on the
He's
van
already got
already.
one. Can we see your Holy Grail? Well, if you where is it? Where are these Threhold Crests?
We took them to the High Warden. She's taken them to do what we need. We needed to talk to you to find out what we need to do about getting them installed where they need to go.
The ritual's already started to take us to the Feywild.
Yes, but clearly the ones you're creating now would have need to have been installed, so we can just use these ones instead.
This is very confusing. I do not know how you got. Is Lewin Boreal with you? Perhaps he can spread them some light.
Yeah. Lewin.
Salut! Salut, comment ça va?
Oh, Lewin. What are you doing here? You are supposed to stop these demons by closing the gates, you know, and going to and finding out what's happened with the mine.
Mon Père, we have, and I will relay the summarized version of our journey up to this point, including going into the mines, finding the community underneath, etc., journey from Limbo.
So
returning
all
back.
the mages are now stopped, and they're listening in on this. You can see they all look absolutely exhausted.
And I will relay with import that we had returned to Syngorn, and just as it teleported, poof, it disappeared and went to the wrong place. And I have returned to you now at the turn of the tide to change history.
Turn of the tide, change history. Help convince in the background.
One of the wizards says, let's bring them in. We all need to hear this. We of the Saptarishi need to know what this is about. See if we have to expend any more energy on this thankless task.
Yes, letting us in would be a very good idea.
Guildrunner, can you drop your shield? And he drops the shield. Come on in.
Thank you.
And the other warriors here says, I will stand out here guard.
I will make my way in. Oh, it's very busy in here. I'm just going to move to a open space.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm struggling to get my token through the door. There you go.
So, are you in?
Looks like it.
Yes.
For some reason, this is doing weird stuff. Let's do that. Okay. So you all go in, and the elf is out here. And they sit around. In the centre of this building, there is a globe with green, arcane fluid in it, which is bubbling around, from which you can hear the sound of the bells, the wind chimes, and things coming through. There are other around here. There are other arcane pillars, sort of almost like candle thing, lantern things, which are lit up. You see on the floor, you can see the creation of Threhold Crests. The outlines have been made, they've been put together, but there is a slight pull of energy from... why has he suddenly died?
Ain't dangerous work, this.
Plot twist.
He said
You
something weird.
fools!
He's fools. I don't know why he just suddenly died. Weird. He is a diviner, so perhaps he knows what's coming up.
Glimpse the end.
Yeah, so you see these like some magic sort of lantern type things, and they're feeding energy into the Threhold Crests. You can see there are gems in them, and the actual crests themselves are taking shape. The shape is there, and they're absorbing energy. You can see now the wizards around here are all exhausted. You realise again with this ritual they have been casting spell slots into this. To use terminology for the game, been casting spell slots into this magical ritual. And some of them are staggering and barely keeping upright. One of them particularly is one who's just died. He is struggling, and you can see he says, "I need to sit down." And you can see these are elves from all round Exandria. Different size. They're all high elves, but they've got different complexions and they have different accents. And said, "We will." And this one at the top says, "I will just keep the chant going to keep the magic going to these Threhold Crests whilst they tell the story. You haven't put too much energy into this to let the to let this fail now. So you all have to tell the story. So you all have to make either performance or persuasion rolls, please.
What order are you going to tell the story in? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense for Dersius to tell the start of the story.
Dersius, you don't count. You can just tell everybody how wonderful you've been.
Well, that's what he certainly will do.
That's fine.
Just occasionally interjects with, and then I killed him.
So Lewin is going to relate the start of the story, the journey into the Maya Scar and the temple underneath, the story of what happened in Sanctuary, the journey underneath.
Well, of course, you were tasked, remember, to see Chernoborg.
Yes, I will be accurate with that as well. That Chernoborg was of little help.
He gave you the directions to the mine.
Yeah,
and also the back door to the mine as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
JC will certainly be telling the bit of the misunderstanding that nearly led to a war.
What? That's a 9.
So
it's Lewin's wild adventure and the people who came along with him.
So we've got a 21, an 18, a 9, and Dak a 7. This is a fanciful tale. And one of the mages casts a spell. He says, "Well, they are who they are not under any illusion. Don't know what to make of this. Guildrunner, this is your project. Do we abandon this now?" He says, "I don't know. What do you all think?"
If I may interject, the normal process of taking the city to the Feywild in and of itself is not a flawed approach in the slightest. What is flawed is that either by design or accident, the stones have been tampered with, which will result in a catastrophic failure if used in their current form. Simply put, if we can amend this problem and prevent it from happening, then the plan can continue as originally orchestrated.
Well, that's... Yes, but... Where... It is a tale. As you JC, as you're telling tale, you can see that the wizard who almost died, he's struggling, and he comes out here and he just sits... I need to sit down. And he says to the elfin warrior, I think you should go in and just make sure they are not going to attack the Guildrunner.
Can I insight him when I hear that?
You certainly can.
28.
Do you have a fatigue point?
No.
No. As he says that, something doesn't quite rung true with what he's saying and how he's saying it. When he sits down, he sits down not like an old man who's exhausted, but he sits down like somebody who is fresher than that. It doesn't look like he's been up a lot.
I'm going to sort of quickly call Dersius, sort of wave, and I am going to head back out the room as well.
Just out of interest, does he look normal to me? Because obviously I have that witch's sight.
You can see there an elf with an aged elf with long silvered hair. Make a perception roll for me.
Perception, okay.
Yeah, he looks tired. Not quite sure what JC's talking about.
Surely you should know me, Vansophonos.
So you've not been the same since you weren't pink anymore.
That's colourist. Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
gonna
just
head
think
out
it's the
then.
different colour reflecting in your eyes wrong.
You said your name was JC, yo? Is that your name?
Jacques.
Jacques.
Jacques Clouseau.
Oh,
Hence
be
the,
would you be a good soul and just pour me a glass of that wine over there? I am spent.
Certainly, I will be keeping an eye on him though.
Yep.
Where's the wine? Sorry, whereabouts was it?
It's in a cupboard here.
Ah, yeah. I'll head up there, but I will be keeping an eye
Okay.
down. I'm hoping Dercy's will be as well.
He is. Just roll. Let me just do something. Okay. He takes a glass from you, and his hand's trembling slightly. You can see his fingers are gnarled. He's got age spots on his hands. He's an old elf.
Yeah, Dercy will sort of do the sort of small talk. Oh, I must be really difficult and hard working there. You know, thank you for your help. But basically, he's also like trying to just gauge his responses.
I am part of the Saptarishi. That's what we were asked to do. It has been an honor to come and help Syngorn, you know. But the Syngorn will have to return that favor, and you will stand me with good stead in Wildmount, in Jorhas.
Yes. Yes, as long as it obviously survives the next few days. These attacks are terrible. Wouldn't want anything.
But the
that
shield,
might cause problems.
the shield is protecting us until we can get the Threhold Crests up. This is ingenious. This magic is something which is very exciting, you know. But it is hard. It is hard work. I have not got the youth of your legs, or the strength, or
will be
and
strenuous.
has Lord Darcy come out as well?
Yes, he assumes that JC waved him out here just to get wine.
Oh, I do not have the strength of this magnificent-looking specimen of. Are you a fighter, a paladin, or what are you?
A hero.
A warrior, a
I
hero.
am rather magnificent, aren't I?
You are. Oh, that's Bill Velvet. I've been on my feet now for the last 2 days doing this casting. I am spent.
Will you rest up?
Oh, thank you.
But best stay near just in case they need you. Because surely with your expertise,
I will stay. I will stay here. Oh, I just need to. And he takes his boots off, and you can see his feet are.
No.
Oh,
you
sorry.
cut out there for a second. You cut out for a second then.
He takes his boots off, and he starts rubbing his feet.
Is this all what JC would expect to be normal behaviour? He already knows.
He's an
something-
elven wizard. You have no idea what elven wizards are normally like, particularly from parts of the world you've not been to. Oh, and he finishes the glass of wine and says, "Oh, there was that's not so good. There was some port in the ritual room. Would you get me some of that, please?"
Well, we wouldn't want you getting too drunk, you know. What happens if the city needs you? Have a rest, have a sit. We'll get some in a minute.
Oh,
Basically, JC's sort of brushing off of. I'm not going back in that room.
okay. Okay.
And I'm kind of hoping that JC will be sort of like winking at Dercius. You know, that sort of, you know, please get what's happening. Don't be that much of an idiot.
Have you got something in your eye?
Okay. So, what are the rest of you doing?
I would imagine that Dak is still in there trying to get them to understand the current situation and to actually believe us.
Okay. this elf here is looking at you, Dircy. Says, "Oh, you are so strapping. Where are you from? You know?" And he makes small talk.
Dursis will happily engage, especially his favourite subject, which is himself.
Yep.
And it will plonk him down in the chair just next to this chap and chat away with a glass of wine or whatever drink is in front of him.
So you're having a glass of wine as well? Yep. Excellent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
JC, what are you doing?
Yes.
I need some more wine. JC, Jacques Clouseau, may I have some more wine, please?
1 second, yeah. What I will do, whilst he's talking with Dersius, before he asks me the wine, I've got that the silver necklace with the pink stone, the amulet of thought detect.
Yep.
Can I do that on him, please? I've no idea how to use it, so you have to...
That only worked on Marmaduke.
Oh, okay.
And you did need to attune to it.
Fair enough.
Have you got detect thoughts anyway?
Not as a spell, no.
No. Okay. So he said, "Look, I really do. I need some wine and something to eat." That's a table, yeah. Yep.
I'll put the wine bottle on the table.
Oh, that's magnificent. This wine is very good, you know. I could also do with something to eat. And so could the others in there. Why didn't you serve them some wine and take them some food in?
No, they're probably really busy dealing with these issues with the crests.
So,
it's basically, whenever he says about going back in the room, JC will come up with some way of saying politely, "No, I'm staying out here."
Okay, fair enough. Dirty, you're having wine as well, yeah. So in the room, you see the mages there are just maintaining the flow to the Threhold Crests that are there. They have stopped. They're all sort of sitting, some of them are sitting on the floor, looking exhausted. There is a cabinet here with some bottles of wine in, and they are helping themselves to that because mages aren't renowned to be the wisest people in the world. And the Guildrunner is there. Says, "I cannot believe you found some Threhold Crests. So, you say you got these from where?"
So, in Limbo, in the future, what was left of Syngorn after it had been destroyed, we rescued these Threhold Crests from the wreckage and brought them with us now.
The wreckage? So...
Yes.
So... I do not get this... explain it to me. So... If we do what you say now...
Yes.
We will end up in Limbo.
No.
So those new Threhold Crests you've given us from Limbo... Take us to Limbo.
No. So, the Threhold Crests we brought with us need to be checked to make sure they haven't been tampered with, but they should be fine and perfectly operational, and if you use those, you should be able to get to the Feywild as intended.
But you got those from Limbo, when...
They originated in Syngorn.
So what
ended up?
What was your performance roll between you failed, didn't it? So you can see he's very.
Mine was atrocious.
Yeah, you can see he's very confused by this.
Yeah, we're not making any ground. It's just talking at this point.
Yep. And the other mages are sitting here. So some of them are starting to pack up the stuff. Well, Guildrunner, if you don't need us, may we go? I hear demons outside, and I do not really want to stay here. And I last time I went to the Feywild, I had a run-in with the Queen, you know, and she did put a price on my head. So this wizard asked to leave, and he just walks out. Oh, glass of wine. I think I'll have that too.
When this other one comes out, does the first one sort of look any sort of reaction to the fact that someone else has come out?
No, not at all.
JC is suspicious.
Oh, well, make another insight roll then.
Insight. 29.
No, he doesn't mind at all. And he says, I think we are done here. Are you going to go back to Marquette?
Well, once we know the city is safe and...
No, he's talking to the other wizard.
Okay,
and this wizard says, yes, hey, if we're not needed, I'm going to go. And some of these wizards start to file out. Well, we shall go if we're not needed. And the Guildrunner says, I don't know. Yes, we will use these new Threhold Crests. Some of the other wizards is hanging around.
We now have the crest. What is the next step?
Well, so the Guildrunner says, well, if we'd finished these, we would have put them on the wall by the main gates, but they were missing.
Okay, so if that's the next step, then that's what we should do with the ones we have.
So these wizards.
First, interrupt quickly, just as they sort of walking off, JC is going to go to where the door is, with it open.
Yep.
Poke his head, not go through the door, but sort of poke and look at Fomos, and just sort of, if Fomos can see him, obviously he'll say, Fomos, like that. And he's going to say something's not right. Something's right. Everything okay. But he's not going to go through that door.
Okay. So you're looking down here, the corridor. You can see the teleportation circle. This is here, and you see the wizards have already had enough, and they want to go on it. First one goes on, and whoop, teleports.
Which one? So, what one was the one that first came out that was giving JC the really suspicious?
This one here. Sorry, they all look the same, I'm afraid.
I didn't see which one pinged.
I
mean, I'm just going to move the character. Move JC down just in case it's.
This one here.
Okay.
So you can see these going onto the teleportation circle, and casting a spell and just disappearing. Whoop. Whoop.
All seems above board to me.
I don't know. JC's really. He's not liking this.
Whoop. And this one goes. I think I may have some more of that wine, you know. Go on, sit down. I'll go and have a sit down. And he just wanders off. More mages are left here. And they said to the Guildrunner, well, that was very nice, but if we're not needed, I think we will go back to with you under siege. We would like to leave. No?
Seems a bit selfish to me. Syngorn is the home of all else. You may not live here, but you should have some allegiance to the city.
Well, I have allegiance to our city. Other side of the world, you've probably never even heard of our place, because the Dungeon Master hasn't invented the place yet.
I haven't. But you have heard of Syngorn. In fact, you came here.
We were housed by the Saptarishi contract. Convent. We were brought here to help, and the city has been saved. No, so we can now go. You have brought the Threhold Crests.
I still think there are things you could do to help before you go.
That's not what we were asked to come here for.
No. So I didn't realise that the elves outside Syngorn did the bare minimum before leaving.
We have done a lot here, you know. We have built these Threhold Crests. They just need more power over the next 24 hours to make them vital, and that is they used to call these in years gone by a level 10 spell. But they no longer exist. So, Guildrunner, it has been a pleasure. Remember, you owe us now big favor. We shall go, no? And Guildrunner says, well, if we have the Threhold Crest, you might as well go. Thank you for all your service, and you can take the teleportation circle. And they all come down here, go on the teleportation circle, and vanish.
Oh, that really bad.
So the Guildrunner looks at you and says, well, I hope you're right, because this is the saviour of Syngorn, you know.
Oh, you know me. When do I ever make reckless decisions?
All the time.
That was many years ago.
This is rude. We are speaking in Elvish, where the others cannot hear.
Father, I have grown and matured over the years while I've been away.
You have a beard. That is your human heritage, you know.
It is. Although I do not think Mother had a beard like this,
No. No, she did not. Your mother was very beautiful, you know. I still miss her. If life had been different, I would have been so much happier.
Now, we do not have time to recollect. We must save the city.
I think so. What are the rest of you doing, by the way?
Just sipping on wine and just staring blankly at Lewin speaking French.
JC will be talking to Dersius about he really told Dersius he really did not trust that person. There was something odd. So the cackles at the back of my neck were standing up with him, and the fact he kept wanting us to go back in that room. We need to keep an eye out.
Would you want to follow him?
I don't know if
See
he
where
should
he
stay
goes.
party.
Well, I mean, if he's, he could be off doing something really weird. Wizards are like that; they do weird things. And apparently, there was some talk of sabotage, and maybe he's the one to do it. Everyone else was left, but he didn't.
There's something really odd.
This globe in the centre starts to glow a little bit.
See?
Well, shit.
And this whole area fills with
With my alert feat, DM, do I have a chance to act before anything happens?
Nope.
Okay.
JC's sort of already being really suspicious. Can he try to dex out the way of that?
Okay, so suddenly this whole area it fills with green toxic gas, that's completely the wrong music for that now. So we've had completely the wrong music on all time. I've got too many buttons to press. Okay, and I need you all, please, to make a
Constitution?
I think this is going to be a
Wisdom.
No, it's called a. I've lost my thing. It's called.
A very beneficial and helpful gas for good guys.
Exactly. So
Hero's elixir.
I need you all, please, to make for me Constitution saving throws.
Oh.
Now, when you say all,
Dersius, you don't have to make it. You are completely blinded in this space. This gas is really very, very thick.
my beard is my shield.
So JC rolls an 18.
18, yes.
You take from that.
Uncanny dodge. Whatever I need to do.
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I don't know why mine's not worked. There we go.
42 poison damage.
Can I uncanny dodge any of this? Or
Nope.
evasion it? Or
Nope. JC, Dak, you take 42 poison damage. Lewin, you take half of that. You take 21. And Fomos, you take 42 poison damage. As this green gas fills this space. You hear a "ah!" as one of the elves goes down. And
Ow!
exactly, thank you very much. Where's his saving throw things?
Just love an excuse to make a scream, didn't you?
Hey, any excuse for a dramatic.
Yeah. Saving throw. I've lost my saving throw things. And saving throw.
From the green gashie, go get him.
I don't think he's going to. No, he's not going to pass it. So he takes a lot of damage as well, and he starts coughing. And this thing in the middle has just shattered, and you are now choking. You are blinded. You cannot see. Dersius, you hear screams from the actual building itself.
From the building itself?
From down from the central part, the central courtyard.
Oh. Oh dear.
Go get him.
Are we blinded regardless if we saved or not?
Yeah, it's completely obfuscated. Yeah.
Okay.
Just notice we've lost Fomos.
Sorry.
Open your eyes. Yeah, Fomos is disconnected.
Oh right.
No, I can hear you guys. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
your thing just feels bottom.
And you hear shouting and screams from the central part of the guild hall. Dersius. The rest of you are just coughing and spluttering as this gas hits you, and you are struggling to breathe. At which point, I am going to stop.
Yeah. I'm going to be thinking about this for 3 weeks. Shit.
See, JC had that sort of, I don't like this, don't like it.
Should have acted upon it.
Stab him next time.
Yeah.
Lewin never has the wisdom to ever think about this sort of stuff. He was just enjoying the wine and chat.
Of course, what you guys forgot to tell the mages who disappeared is, what happens to teleportation?
Oh, of course it doesn't work. It just goes everywhere.
So it's a bit over there.
So do they, by the sounds of it.
I was under the impression that wild magic was affected outside the shield, but
Yeah, that's not wild magic. That's not wild magic.
It's teleportation.
Teleportation.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was inside Syngorn as well. I do now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I never thought of that. I thought teleportation is the breaker thing is going to happen when the city moves, not now.
Wow.
Okay, we shall stop there. You are struggling to breathe. The Guildrunner next to you, Fomos, you can hear him coughing and spluttering and struggling, just like that.
Like that.
And Dersius, you see this gas cloud come up, and you hear shouting from the main courtyard area and screams.
This doesn't seem good at all.
Very good.
Seems like this wasn't planned.
Bless you.
That cloud kill's affecting you all.
Yeah. We'll have to exit cloud left.
Well, actually, it's actually cloud right because
Oh, I'll just jump out the window if all else fails.
Oh, SpongeBob is such an amazing show that does a GIF for every conceivable D&D
Really
situation.
Does not get the credit it deserves.
Cool. Well done. So it was a bit of umming and ahhing. I didn't have much time to prepare tonight because Thursdays, as I say, aren't so easy for me. But you got where you needed to get.
Didn't go.
Sorry?
We didn't end up in prison.
You didn't end up in prison. You may end up dead, but you didn't end up in prison.
it's the little wins.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Exactly
we
that.
We all died on the right side of the law.
But yeah, I will be missing for the next 3 weeks, unfortunately, because I'll be in
3 weeks
in Heathrow next week. I'll be in Osaka the week after that, and I'll be in Tokyo the week after that.
Well, we're doing Call of Cthulhu. Apparently, Call of Cthulhu is the role-playing game they all play in Japan. They're not so much
I can
D&D.
believe that. I know they're big fans of Pathfinder now.
Ooh. Wow.
Because,
Make sure you take lots of pictures.
Will do, because my friend in Osaka, who I talk to, is a big fan of Pathfinder, and apparently it's because one of the animated shows is based off Pathfinder, and it became super popular.
Cool.
But yes, I'm gonna go get lots of inspiration. Gonna go steal a whole bunch of things for D&D in the future.
Very good.
Well,
We'll all start playing Call of Bushido next year.
It'll be Legend of Five Rings if we're going for the full Asian thing, either.
So Call of Bushido was an old style RPG, which was it was obviously set in Japan. That was the first one that really did that, which was very cool. It was all about honour. Invariably, I didn't have any.
My name is Yotaka Takenuchi, 15th descendant of the Takenuchi clan. I have had this blade for 10 generations. And it can be yours for the low price of 25 koku.
I'll sell it to you, yeah. Cool. All right. Okay, guys. I shall see you, some of you next week. Some of you in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks. I will send pictures every week.
Yeah, have a great time.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoy
All
it.
right. However, lots and lots of fun. Drink lots and lots of sake.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's probably a bit late for the blossom, the cherry blossom.
Yeah, it
was early this year, I think.
It's wisteria now in May. But also the holiday prices are about 25% cheaper than going in March.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, that's definitely worth it.
And about 50% less busy.
Yeah, well, I think wasn't it the cherry season was actually early this year, and so most people who went missed it. But it's really Hokkaido, isn't it, that has all the big cherry blossom stuff.
Yeah, so because of the way the country is, it starts in the southwest and it works its way northeast up into Hokkaido. So if you go to Hakodate, which is all the way up in the north, they're just coming into bloom now. But yeah, everyone goes during Hanami season because, it's the peak time to go, but that means it's really busy and expensive.
Yeah.
Because all the domestic tourists do as well, because Japanese people, because the economy's been crap since the 1980s, don't really go abroad anymore. So they all just pile onto the trains and hotels in their own country, which is great. Wish we did that more in this country, but also means that prices absolutely shoot up every time they go on holiday.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to Sega World?
Sega World? Not this time.
No.
We're really doing sort of the three stereotypical places, which is Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo. We are going to the Studio Ghibli theme park, though.
Oh, that'd be good.
We'll have lots and lots of fun.
Yeah.
I will try my best. I'm just hoping my ankle's fully recovered by the time I fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to be a lot of walking.
About 20 a day.
Right, well, I will stop recording now. I've got to remember how to play Call of Cthulhu for next time.
Yeah.
I have completely forgotten.
That's right. It'd be great fun.